Hey, here's one for you. Seen a fresh report here from Fox Sports that Carlton's Jaxon Binns has emerged as a trade target for rival clubs. So the report here says that it's understood the Blues could be open to offers for the 20-year-old midfielder who's had limited senior opportunities in Michael Voss's side so far. He's played 8 games across 3 seasons, including 5 this year, since joining Carlton with pick 32 in the 2022 National Draft. So I thought that would be a perfect way to recap Jaxon Binns in 2025. And it was very interesting to see where this story started pre-season and where this story ended, end of 2025. I want to go through it all, put it all together in a nice compact video for you, and then we can talk about the potential trade and what the scenario is. So I think there was a lot of hype around Jaxon Binns in the preseason, and there was a lot of positive energy around him and around the young guys lifting the standard. If you recall this video, so there was just a feeling that the young guys were leveling up the floor of the group. I still remember videos in the rain and Voss talking about how the standard is lifting, and it was just a lot of words of affirmation and a lot of words of encouragement. Then we get to the 13th of January. Now, Binns had actually lost his 2K time trial crown, and Jacob Wiedering spoke about it, and then he spoke about Jaxon Binns after Christmas.
I was at the back of the group, so I didn't get to see it live, but Binnsy was unbelievable. He got challenged. I think the title got taken off him pre-Christmas, and he's had an unbelievable. He's probably been the most impressive in the way he's come back. He's built his strength up a little bit, and his running stayed pretty much the same, and he got the win in the 2K, which is unbelievable. Ollie, top 3 again.
So a lot of excitement generated here. Keeping in mind, he struggled to find his way into the side until late in the season, 2024. Showed some promise, particularly against the West Coast Eagles in that late game where we needed to win to keep our season alive. So I think the natural school of thought was, all right, he's primed pre-season and hopefully he's ready to go, maybe play 10 plus games this year. For whatever reason, after this great pre-season that he had, he was not selected for the round 1 side against Richmond. Instead, it was Lucas Camporelli that got the nod. So that's what happened. And Binns went away, played in the VFL. He was getting consistent 22, 23 disposals in games. And then he played a really good game against Coburg in the VFL. And this was the precursor to him being selected in the AFL side. So I'll just run you through this game here. He had a team high 33 touches. He had a game high 8 inside 50s, a game high 8 rebound 50s, kicked a goal, 8 marks, 6 intercepts, 2 tackles, 2 clearances. And what we noticed in this first chunk of 2025 was that he was being played behind the ball, that defensive winger, that rotation that Lucas Camporelli had actually won over him. So he plays well in the VFL, earns a spot in the side against St Kilda, kicks a goal in the game, up and about. Here comes Jaxon Binns. We then go to Sydney. He plays in that game, he has the 14 possessions. All 14 of those possessions were kicks. We then play the Giants. He's the sub for that Giants game. So he's, first 3 games of the season go that way. He does not return to the team after the Giants game. He was dropped after that. He then returned to the side in round 14 as Sam Walsh's hot spot in his foot was announced. So he was essentially a late in. So comes back against West Coast, plays really well, plays his best game of the season, really. He had 26 possessions in this game. And then he played the week after against North Melbourne. That was round 15. He had the 17 touches, and I think we all remember round 15 for the spray that he received at the hands of Michael Voss.
Tough afternoon. Michael Voss reading the riot act to his Blues. They trail by 46 points.
I think what you're saying, Brownie, what you said earlier is absolutely spot on, and Voss is sending the message.
I'm going to lip read too. Do your role. And that's what he'd be most furious about.
We did not see Jaxon Binns after this in the AFL. Now, there actually was a clip of him not long after this happened. The Blues played against Collingwood and he was interviewed by Channel 7 and he touched on the spray.
I think all of us who played sport at any level have copped a spray from a coach at some stage, and I know it gets highlighted obviously at a level above. How have you sort of found that? And you're obviously playing good footy because you come back here and you get 28 odd touches in part of a great win. How did you sort of handle that period?
Yeah, well, that's footy in the end. Like, I feel like that's a show of respect that Vossi expects better from me. So, like I said, that's footy. So we get on with it and keep coming back and playing your role, and hopefully reward will come on the back of it.
I remember thinking at the time, fucking love that attitude. Love it. Sign of respect. Now, I don't know what people say on camera, what people say off camera, how people react. I don't know. But I did like what I heard. I liked those words. I thought they were the right words to hear, and I think it spoke to a good attitude. So he went away and stayed in the VFL. Now, interestingly enough, he did not return to the AFL team. Sam Walsh eventually did return to the team, and again, he just wasn't able to find his way back in the side. Now, was it because of what happened? Is he out of favour? And therefore, does that lead us to why we are having this conversation and why this report might be happening, that clubs are potentially exploring a move for Jaxon Binns? So let's weigh it up. He's played 5 games in 2025. He's played 8 in his career. He's been the sub twice. Key attributes, well, his running power and his capacity to run, it's been elite from day dot, really. His agility and his endurance, these are the attributes that define Jaxon Binns. However, opportunity at senior level has been limited. This is the part that's a bit of an unknown. I thought when I see Jaxon Binns play, he plays with this confidence that I see at times. But it's also hard to tell because he's had 2 really good games in his career against lesser opponents in the West Coast Eagles. But, I mean, he's a 20-year-old kid, so I'm very mindful that he's in the early stages of his career and he's in this developmental stage. He signed a 2-year deal in 2023, which got into the end of 2025, where we are today. Interestingly enough, he signed, and it was announced that he had signed that 2-year extension on the same day and in the same graphic as Harry Lemmy signing a 1-year deal, who obviously we know now in 2025, he will no longer be with the Carlton Football Club. So the arguments for keeping him, well, first of all, he's contracted, so there's that. But I still think there's upside to him. He's 20 years of age. He's shown an ability, particularly with his running capacity, and in the modern game, you need that. He's shown an ability to do that at a reasonable level. We are definitely a team and a club that needs a deep squad, and we don't have that. So I think he's still a depth option at this point. So I just think he's ready. He's in a nice spot now to tackle the preseason and go again next year and maybe lock down a spot. Now, on the flip side, if there's another club out there that would want him and can guarantee him more playing time, that might be an option for him. We're also at a time where at Carlton, we seem to be going through this attitude adjustment period. So if you're not going to buy into what we're doing, you can leave, but it only applies for some players, but not others. Sadly, I don't think Binzy's quite yet at that superstar level where, rules apply to some, but not others. So I'm a bit perplexed by this one. I was stunned at the report, but when I put it all together and I saw all the positive encouragement and attitude around him in the preseason and the hype, only for it to end the way it did with, a spray via the coach, I'm just not sure where he sits and where he fits. We've got Lucas Camporelli, who was chosen ahead of him early in the year. Got Ollie Hollands, who we want to put him back on the wing potentially. Don't know if we're going to keep him behind the ball. But the reality is, at this point, he's not yet proven. So that's a fact. He's not yet proven. He's got the upside. My view is just let him see out his contract, unless he doesn't want to be at the club, in which case it's a different conversation altogether. But I just think there's an opportunity there for him. He's been in the system a couple of years now, a couple of pre-seasons. He's already got the running ability. He's got the physical capacity to grow a bit more and become a bit more stronger. And I thought we saw that in moments from him this year. And so I would lean towards just keeping him for the year. So that's my take. But what do you think? What do you think about these reports? What do you think about him and his season and his attributes? And where do you think he fits in the Carlton Football Club over the next, say, 1 to 2 years? Chat to you in the comments. We'll go from there.